Hi, I'm Mark Toole with 8020service.com. Today's customer service video question of the day is from Quora. The question is there a point at which a business organization grows too large to provide high-quality customer service? Well, it seems that way, doesn't it? I mean, you think of big companies you've dealt with, we'll just calling out here again, Comcast or anything like them. Customer service is terrible. And you think of, say, I don't know, a guy you pay off Craigslist to do something and he shows up, hey, how's it going? Here, let's figure this out. Customer service, if you want to call it that, is great. So, yes, at the very, very small scale, it seems like it goes really well. Things get bigger, they get worse. Why is that? And does it have to be that way? Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be that way, but you have to be very careful when you're scaling this thing that it doesn't get that way, because there are a lot of things that people just tend to naturally do as they scale a thing like this, which make things worse by definition almost. So why is customer service so good with small companies with just a couple people working there, or a one-man shop or something like that? Well, it's simple. There isn't a huge, massive bureaucracy. There aren't procedures guides. There aren't scripts. There aren't AI chatbots. There aren't piss break timers. There aren't any of these things you have in these big companies. You have a guy who knows what's going on with the business, with the company, with the products, with the customers, and a customer interacts with that guy, whether it's by phone, I don't recommend phone, email, live chat, whatever it is. They get a person who knows what they're talking about and can do things, and they say, hey, I'm having trouble with this. Okay, let's see. We do this, this, and this. All right, that work? Yes? Okay, good, you're done. Simple. It works. It's high-quality customer service, if you want to call it that. And another benefit, this is what I talk about a lot that nobody else talks about, of these small organizations like this, keeping it simple, especially if it's a side hustle, especially if it's a one-man operation. If you're running a business and you have to do all the customer service yourself, you're not going to sit there and answer the same question 300 times a day. You're going to go back and find the root cause of why so many people are asking that question, and you're going to fix it. Because you're going to have to deal with it, or you're going to have to hire someone to deal with it personally if you don't do that. The bigger the thing gets, the problem, the reason it gets bad with scale, generally speaking, is complexity. So you start out, you're doing it yourself, everything's good. You grow a bit, you hire one outsourced person in the Philippines, things are good. You grow a lot, you're making millions of dollars, you upscale to 2 outsourced people in the Philippines, things are still good. Now, as if you do things intelligently, what a lot of people do is they'll say, oh, it's a little bit busy, let me build an entire call center, rent out office space, buy little phones, have people sit there, pay Medicare tax on all these employees, and then someone needs to manage them, so we'll hire a manager, and then we need something that runs the phone system, so we'll have somebody set up a programmed computer voice, and then why don't we have that thing have an AI run it so we can try to answer questions itself, and on and on and on and on. We have all these people now. Someone needs to manage them. We need an HR department. We need a piss break timer. We need a guy to read all the emails and make sure they don't say the wrong thing to the customers and punish them if they do. And a guy who comes up with the punishments. And a guy to organize the meetings and have little PowerPoint slides. And someone to come up with a policy of where you're allowed to smoke your vanilla cookie flavored vape in the office. And things suffer from there. And from at that point too, then if you're the person running the business, it's not you handling the customer service issues. It's not someone you know or someone you hired or someone you've ever even seen. They're probably in another building somewhere, or even if they're in another country, someone you've never dealt with, someone you don't know the name of. It's just customer service. And in that case, there's sort of a moral hazard there that makes it even worse, and that is this guy wants to do something in the business. It's going to affect customers. Well, customer service can handle that. We pay them to handle it. I don't need to think about it. So, the business does things that maybe negatively impact the customer, definitely that negatively impact the customer service department, means they get busy, means they need to have more people, means they need to heap more complexity on top of the thing. Basically, the problems, boil it all down really, the problems in customer service, in big businesses and in small businesses, if they don't do it right, is complexity. Excess complexity, individuals who have no real investment in anything because they're just, I mean, think about it. Your job is to come in and read off a script. If customer asks about this, do this. If customer asks about this, do this. That's not a fulfilling or rewarding job. You're not going to try very hard. And if you're any kind of intelligent or motivated person, you're not going to want that job. You're not going to stay there for long. The people who wind up there are the people who feel, right or wrong, that they can't do any better in the world. So you're going to have lower quality people who want to be there less, and they're not making any decisions. They're not doing anything on their own. They're simply reading off a script. The guy who writes the script doesn't have to read the script, so he doesn't make it good. He doesn't have an incentive to make it good or helpful to the customers. He just wants to, his boss told him to write a script, so he did. And then he gets his little bonus and he goes home and microwaves his Pop-Tarts and watches TV. It's a problem of complexity. Now, the complexity generally tends to grow as the business grows. If I can hire that one Filipino, I can hire 2 Filipinos, I can hire 5 or 6 Filipinos, maybe I can run them all myself. At some point, maybe I don't want to run them all myself. I get someone like me, because this is what I help businesses with. I run the customer service team for these people. But if they grow and they get a lot of complaints, and this is the key here, is you want to keep those complaints to a minimum rather than just get more people to handle them. And that's the problem, is that these companies will get more people to handle complaints. They'll never try to reduce those complaints in a meaningful way, at least. So they're just going to have more and more complaints, more and more people handling complaints. Every piece you add is something else that goes wrong. Every interconnected piece you add is an additional piece of complexity, which multiplies exponentially there the things that can go wrong and break the whole big, complicated, messy machine. The solution as a company grows? Well, I kind of already covered it here. Really, 2 things. You keep things as simple as possible for the customers and for the customer service department. You need to remember that if somebody needs to contact your customer service department about something, that's a problem. That's a failing on your part, especially in the modern online business era. Nobody wants, I mean, if you're a lemonade stand, oh, I'd like 1 lemonade, that's not the same thing. But selling products online, services, most of your customers shouldn't have to contact customer service if they don't want to. If a lot of them have to, that's a problem, and you need to figure out ways to prevent these things rather than having somebody simply handle them. The other thing is, as the thing grows, that alone will take care of a lot of this, but as the thing grows, keep it simple. Don't add multiple layers of complexity. You can simply have more people doing the same thing, more outsourced Filipinos or whoever you're using for the thing, who know what they're talking about, who have the ability and intelligence to understand problems and fix them for customers without asking. Decentralize the thing rather than having somebody report up a hierarchy. Oh, I'm not allowed to think about that, sir. I have to ask my boss. I don't want to, if I'm the boss, I don't want people asking me simple questions. Make the decision. If it's wrong, we'll come back and revisit it later, but make the decision, make it right. Decentralize, keep it a flat system, basically. You can add more people, and they will be doing essentially the same thing if they're doing it in the right way. Now, does that scale infinitely? Maybe not, because even the most decentralized people are going to need some sort of management. So if you have hundreds and hundreds of people, you're going to need several managers for that probably, and then you're going to be adding some complexity. Some of that's maybe necessary, but just try to keep it to a minimum as much as you can, and that's the best I can tell you. Now, if you're already an existing giant business and customer service is bad, and you're watching this video, I don't know if anybody is, you're going to probably see that what I'm talking about is what's causing a lot of your problems in customer service. You're probably also going to see that if you've been doing this wrong for years and years and years, it's going to be very hard, if not impossible, to reverse all of that. It's almost just like tear it down and start over, but I don't think a lot of people, quite frankly, have the ambition to do something like that. So, which is why these big companies, where it's already bad, they only just slap additional band-aids on top, adding more complexity when they try to fix their customer service. The real fix would be to do everything right from the beginning, or failing that, basically start from scratch and redo it, but very few are going to do that. So that's why it continues to get worse. If you're in a small business, if you're a one-man operation, a side hustle, anything like that, or a little bit bigger than that too, you have a big opportunity to get this stuff right. That's why I do these videos. That's why I write about this stuff. That's why I talk about this stuff. So, good transition. I'll wrap this up here. I do one of these videos every weekday on a customer service question. I write regularly on business and customer service questions in response to questions on Quora and on my website, 8020service.com, which I also have a daily email list you can subscribe to there for more of this stuff. Do all of that. Otherwise, like, subscribe, thumbs up, follow me here. Again, post these on Quora, post these on YouTube as well, so depending where you're watching, if you have a question, ask me on Quora, ask me in the comments on YouTube. I may use it in a future video, and I'll be back tomorrow with another.